Hello, this is the NFT show number 8. All NFTs are meaningless or worthless, right? We're going to dive in. As usual, all of our content is sponsored by FTX. You can sign up at thenifty.com/FTX or with the code THENIFTY on your FTX mobile app. And as always, nothing in this video is financial advice. We're not financial advisors. The NFT space is insanely risky, so always do your own research. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button if you enjoyed the content. I'm here with Nifty Nick and Kicks. This is the squad from the Nifty. And on our show this morning, you know, Nick was letting it fly what his opinions were on the current state of affairs in the NFT space. Nick, what's going on?
I was just referring to capitulation, you know? I was just saying that we haven't yet gotten there, and we're going to get there. We going to get it. We going done it. Get it. That's English. I also just went long some ETH just for fun. But this morning, in the midst of a market anticipating capitulation, this is a swing trade. Yeah, I'm just thinking that there's the NFT space is feels dead. But it doesn't feel fully dead yet. So that's kind of what I was thinking about in general. A lot of people. There's so many negative macro indicators, and despite that, people are still flipping JPEGs, and you got to wonder, like, how long can that last? And deep down,
forever.
I feel in my skepticism. I feel in my deep inside, this inner skeptic is coming out, being vomited into this mic right now, and so that's what's going down.
Nick, let me present you a field of view. If we can merely get 15% of the daily volume of Dogecoin, the market will 3x from here. So I don't who is buying and selling and transacting Dogecoin on such high levels. I do not know. But if we only can convince 15% of them to come over to the NFT market, we'll be doing 50 million a day. We'll be great. It'll be sunshine and roses, and we'll be skipping through fields together.
I mean, I like that thesis. That was something that we were discussing last year. The entire thesis was we were very bullish, and I was saying things like, this is the future. Why would people buy stocks when they can buy JPEGs? First question.
Exactly.
So answer that.
Stocks are boring as hell. You don't get anything to look at other than a chart. With a JPEG, I get a chart and I get a picture. Okay, double the utility.
What else do you want?
Yeah, so we don't care about business fundamentals. We care about border thickness.
Here's the thing: 99% of tech companies lose money every year. They don't even make money; they just grow losing money.
Amazon,
at least the
never heard of
NFT
it.
companies, they make money. You know what I mean? If anything, we're innovative compared to the Web 2 tech model. None of these people make money. I look at their P&Ls because I own some of the stocks. I'm like, great, they lost $160 million this year to grow by $120 million a year. I think I could do that. You know, I think I could figure that one out. But yeah, I mean, I totally get it. I mean, I could see us getting another leg down or a capitulation, but when I'm looking at the market, I'm seeing, some good signs. And I think that there's some action moving. I think we can sit in a market where it's going to be a tough market, but there's going to be wins in the market, right? So I looked at Bored Ape Yacht Club went down to 65, back up to 74, Mutants down to 11.9. Back up to 14, D-Gods to 533 Sol, which is 11.5 ETH. Absolute explosion, right? That's a win there. We saw a big run up with Pudgy Penguins, right? Combat crates are at 0.8.
10 KTF combat crates.
Combat crates are at 0.8.
Above the mint price of 0.65, right?
Yeah, and you can't, and if you don't mind, I'll share my
Huge
screen
one.
here. I mean, you can't leave out this project right here, which I'm up a 2x on.
How do you say it? How's it pronounced?
Mephiffers.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah. Yeah, these are cooking.
These are good.
What is this?
So our Discord was all over these. I didn't know they were animated. That's not bad. So wait,
I know this is CCO M&A. This is mergers and acquisitions happening in the CCO space. So I own 6 of these. I own 6 of these at a 0.03 average cost. The public mint, I think, is actually happening right now. Oh yeah, I just minted out. Oh,
My final
I
form.
forgot about that.
Were you supposed? Whoa, you got to respect that pump. That's a pump you got to respect.
Yeah, these are big, man. These are going to go to like 0.2, I think. So yeah, I'm using a bum computer to buy NFTs right now. So
One
like,
ETH sale.
yeah, well, yeah, 1 ETH sale. I mean, that's a great one. I mean, look at that. This is high quality CCO innovation. Ooh, a 4 smoking trait. That's rare. 4 smoking trait with weed. That's super rare.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I'm looking at those attributes. None of them look rare except for one. 2 of them.
No, but it's the combo.
Hot box gold.
The chance of getting 4 smoking is super rare.
Yeah, and you got an alien.
I mean, there's a standing offer of 0.3 on it immediately. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, these are going to the absolute moon. Should have bet more on them. I also went in on some eight aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah, aliens.
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 Yeah, because they went up to 0.7, but they're kind of consolidating in this range, low volume. Just needs a little news catalyst. So I'm seeing wins out there, and I'm thinking that if ETH can just stay in a range for us, if it can just not go above 2,000 and not go below 1,500, just chop all around, we're gonna get we've been on quicksand lately. We're gonna get our feet in the ground. We're gonna get some planning feet. Start pushing, that football drill where you got to push the sled together, everybody at the same time. That's what we're going to be doing in the NFT market to close out this month, just kind of pushing that line. I want to see 30 million in USD volume in the next 7 days. You know what I mean? I want to see some of that action going. So, yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now.
I mean, I literally plowed through a group of 11 men this weekend. Physically.
What?
I temporarily injured my neck doing it, but I just thought that I was doing that on behalf of the NFT market. So I was yelling positive affirmations while doing it. So remember that.
Man.
I also held a sword on top of a mountain, literal mountain, held a sword over my head and yelled positive affirmations as well. And that I'm fighting.
That's beautiful.
For freedom.
I like that you said you plowed through a group of 11.
I mean, look at these. Why didn't I buy more of these? Dude, this was such a play here. Look at this. I mean, where can you get that?
That looks like me after I plowed through 11 men, actually.
So in this, hold on, let's break that one down. Let me break down one of these so people actually people don't understand.
Let's look for a good one. Let's look for a good one.
Anyone.
How has the price gone up? All right, 30% just while we're talking.
Okay, so this one is harder, but this is a crypto to crypto punk and a crypto dick butt, right?
Yeah, I think that's how all of them are, right?
Okay, so they're all.
But this got this got Noundles glasses.
Nouns, yeah, Nouns glasses. The toad has the cigarette. We got the sunglasses trait from punks. I think the hat on the punk is a toad's trait.
Yeah, this is mad scientist shit. I don't understand how you can combine all of these things and make it work.
And make it look as beautiful as it does right here.
It's impressive layering.
It's very challenging to pull something off like this.
So anyways, these are going to the absolute moon. Make a huge bag off of those. Just Guap City. I'm going to be hitting any kind of mint coming out over the next 48 hours.
Shout out to Sam Pott from our Discord. He just posted his final form. It's pretty good. It's a red body final form. I mean, look, it's kind of Nile.
We have Lady Ape Club up at the top. I mean, this is degen
that's a scam.
Season right here.
That's a scam. Yeah, so click on Lady Ape Club because we haven't talked about it. I'm appalled. Cash. This is so appalling. Look at the activity. I guarantee there's a 30th sale. I guarantee it. 40th sale 4 hours ago. Oh. Sure. Yeah. Oh, that 40. Oh, okay.
But can I make money off of this scam? If I had bought this at 5.3, would someone have?
It's wash.
It's the same person trading back and forth.
It's wash trading.
What does that mean, guys? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm so mad about Lady Ape. It's been in the top 10, literally for so long. I'm just so mad.
I'm just really surprised. When people were talking, trash about CCO. And it's this is what's possible. This is the future of what's possible when you enable this kind of interoperability. This This is literally conjoined triplet level of interoperability.
That one's pretty good, yeah.
Right?
That one's pretty good.
But yeah, I'm seeing some good signs. It's looking good out there. The thing is, you don't want to be sitting in a project that is already used up a lot of its bazaar. You know what I mean? In a bear market, because it's just gonna chop. Your best case scenario, you're hoping for some chop. That's why I'm liking these new things where you can get a little bazaar behind them.
Are you going to make this final form your PFP and then stick with that for that forever?
Absolutely not. You'll never see that as my PFP. That is just a monstrosity.
When you texted this project to me, I thought you were texting me Fin Air because I was looking at flights.
Air?
Yeah, and I was like,
Fin in the airline. Yeah. No. We're talking about these right here. Look at this little cuddly son of a gun. So do you all know about this project? It's pretty cool. So my understanding is that,
what's up on their ears there? I mean, that's a little oddly shaped thing.
So this one is in the Avalanche family. So what happens is if Avalanche goes up in price, this little cute cuddly thing is going to get happier. But if Avalanche goes down in price, this little thing is going to get sad, maybe a little angry.
And how does the price?
It's all done on the chain with oracles, so that's pretty cool. That's innovation.
Looks like it's got some oracles coming out of its head.
Yeah, so just imagine Avalanche just tanking 20% in 24 hours. You're going to load into OpenSea, and you're going to see this little guy. Oh, I'm having a bad day.
I see what Nick's seeing with the ears now, and it's not just because he plowed through the group of 11 men. I'm totally seeing it.
Yeah. That is weird. Yep.
Do they all look like, okay? That's just that one. They're not. That's not the standard.
Yeah. So we'll click on a different color. Look at this guy. This little candy cane. This one's Uniswap. So if Uniswap goes up in price, this guy's like, woohoo! If it goes down in price, he's like, oh man, I'm having a bad day.
I actually like these. They look kind of cute. Can we see some of the other ones? These look pretty good. Right. I like the one that was that. What's the first one? The floor one.
This one.
I want to see those ears or those things on its head.
I mean, this guy's happy too.
I like this.
It looks like a little coral reef.
Yeah, I think this is good. I'm going to ease. Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I see David posting with his 2-bit bear. Kevin Rose swept up 22-bit bears, blue chip stuff.
Take a look at that.
Wait, who did?
Kevin Rose bought 22-bit bears.
That's a good move. We've discussed that before. Clearly, we have a biased source on this. The commenters here. Literally like, when did that happen?
I'm not.
2 days ago.
You don't have commercial rights or CCO on this, so I'm out.
Okay, because then you can't do final form level stuff.
Like, I'll give you CCO on it. I'll turn one of mine into CCO. I don't care what the team says.
Yeah, because you should be able to combine these, like ringers.
I'm gonna put in 2 together and turn them into 3 squares, and then the middle square is going to turn into a different color. So yeah, that's very exciting things you can do with 2-bit bears. Then it becomes a freak bear, sort of like final form.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Now, one of the things I'm trying to do in the bear market, right, is, throw some offers around, right? Because the spread and the amount of people that are taking offers is pretty juicy in this market.
Capitulation.
I actually got one of my Digidacadoros for only 1 ETH. I bought 2 at 1.2, and then I put an offer in at 1.05.
And you got it?
Yeah, it's kind of like you're playing offense and defense. It's street basketball out there right now. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to, you post up, right? But then you're also willing to take some shots. But sometimes you post up. Exactly. A little post up.
Hold on. Did you just injure your ankle there, Pio? You okay?
Yep. Look at that hook shot. This guy was trained by the 90s. Look at that.
You saw that no-look pass. That was a no-look pass. I mean,
got me shaking, dude. My sandals fell off, dude.
I mean, the thing is, like, if you want to see the technique, it's kind of like, and like back in the day, you'd kind of see Shaq, and you'd kind of be like this.
Oh yeah.
What it's kind of like
creating that space.
Like this, you creating the space, then
creating that space,
and then I don't know, you can do some other stuff.
Get a little hook shot.
Did
So,
you get
I'm
that
thinking-
Digi Tamagotchi? Is that the thing you bought?
Yeah, I got 3 of them. Yeah, they're 3.4, just absolute cooker. So I sold one of those, went shopping, still got 2. I'm thinking of Pudgy Penguins, maybe, throwing a little offer here out at 3 ETH.
Wow.
Is that there's not much on the offer side.
3.
But yeah, see, this came in at
2.8.
2.82. See, you can get, so maybe 2.8.
That's a lot going for offers, man. These are going back to 2.
Yeah, they could.
No,
you got to
they
be
will.
careful. You got to pick your spots. Yeah, volume's still a little high. You probably want volume to come back down to maybe 50, under 50 orders a day.
What's crazy is it's not like everyone's like, oh my God, Pudgy Penguins now. Like in terms of outside, in terms of developing memes like they did before. You guys discussed that on the show the other day. That was the foundation of the whole pump. Now it's just a pump for pump's sake. Like there's no, I don't know. Is there anything that changed that suddenly people? Oh, I guess it was the announcement of the board that was associated, the advisory board.
There could be a situation where you see them getting into retail stores in the form of toys. I think people are very bullish also on Luca, the CEO for sure. The unique ownership, as pointed out,
he's the best 16-year-old CEO I've ever met.
He's 24.
Sure.
The what's it called? The Crypto Kaleo pointed out that the unique ownership increased with the volume, which is, I mean, it's not bearish when the unique ownership increases.
Yeah, I saw that
with
too.
volume.
That's a good thing to trade off of too. I'm starting to realize is when you see that unique ownership go up significantly in a pump, can be a good sign.
Distribution, right? And so,
maybe.
yeah. So, I mean, look, Nick,
I want a Pudgy Penguin, but I'm going to keep fading it and fudding it until this gets down to a price that I'm willing to tolerate. Okay?
Yeah. The thing is,
Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it.
At the end of the day, being a bear in the NFT space is almost always the right thing to do. Like on any given project, like statistically speaking, if you're a bear, you have a better chance of being right than if you're a bull. There's just more examples where being a bear paid off. The only example where it didn't over the long term is Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoPunks. Like basically, I mean, Moonbirds, I don't know if it's still the case. Everybody that bought a Moonbird on the secondary was underwater in USD terms up until recently / still might be. I think they might still be underwater in USD terms. You know what I mean?
From the 2.5 ETH mint.
No, but if you bought on the secondary, if you bought the
like even if you got it at 6 on the secondary,
I think the low was like 7 or 8. Yeah, but because of the value of ETH, like let's say you got it at 7 on the secondary at $3,200.
Yeah, because that's about where I got it. Because mine cost like 21K. I sold it for 80, bought back in 36.
Unreal.
It's worth like 24. So I'm still up on the trade overall.
Right, but you gave back a little bit there at the end.
Gave back a 12 stack. If we're counting.
Hey, you know what I've been looking at is Wolf Game. Just kidding. I have no interest in that, but I did see the floor on that.
They had a pump.
0.5. What also, another one that had a really solid pump was Genuine Undead. Remember that?
A pump to the floor?
It went straight down from 0.38.
People were tweeting at me today, like, talk about Genuine Undead, talk about Genuine Undead. I kind of felt like saying to them, like, what do you want me to say? I'm not trying to be a jerk.
They were undead, now they're re-dead.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Kicks, like there's some, like you're still participating heavily in the market, which I respect big time. And you had that win with the Digidaiku. And that Digitamagotchi, and that one, like in hindsight, was a good call. That one frustrated me because I didn't know what it was. Then all of a sudden, all the wallets I track were buying it at 0.45, and then when I opened my phone up again 10 minutes later, it was almost at 1 ETH, and I was very frustrated by the level of pump that happened in such a short period of time with such notable people when I didn't know what the hell the thing was. I like the Pudgy Penguins pump a lot better. It's like a news event-based pump that has unique ownership on a project that's been around for a long time. Me missing out on that, I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with that. But are you seeing any other opportunity in the market, Kicks?
Yeah, I think it's really, you got to pick your spots, because most things absent of a news event is just going to chop best case scenario, or maybe like slightly range down. So you have to pick spots where you think like a narrative can emerge. Like, the Pudgy Penguin stuff, like there was signs of it and there was volume happening even when it was like around 2, right? And you could have hopped in at 2 and rode it all the way up to 4. I'm just like trying to pick my spots particularly, and then, be like responsible about taking profits. Because if you just sit in a trade and it's not working out, like I'm willing to get out of a trade and lose like 10% to fees. You know what I mean? If it's not moving, but I think you really have to adopt a trader mentality right now for sure. But I think there's going to be lots of like similar stories to like Rara Pepe, where, these cheaper projects, go on these really nice runs. I think that's where most of the opportunity is. And then just looking for like new narratives with like interesting backers. So like the DigiDie thing, like it went all, I missed it originally 2P. It went all the way up to 2, and I was like, fuck. And then it went down to like 0.8. But like the more I researched the founder and what they were doing, I'm like, oh, okay, they're legit. And then where's
so
the
what did you
thing
buy in with Digi Tamagotchi?
1.2. It went from 2 down to 0.8. I missed 0.8. It started trending back up above 1. And I was like, okay, I gotta get in on this. But like potatoes, right? 1.28. Like
still hanging in there.
I was able to get into these at like 0.6. So like what I think you got to look for is like projects that can have like some lasting power. So they have to have some legitimacy to them, right? Like My Final Form, I'm trading that kind of like just like a meme degen play, right? But like where I'm really trying to like allocate things is into like, projects that have that narrative that can like last more than 5 days, right? Like either the founder's going to be talking about interesting things or they're doing stuff. So like I'm looking for like potatoes, digi plays for like my biggest thing. I bought like 1.5 ETH worth of Genesis boxes for doodles. I don't think they're doing much. Like that's an example.
I think they might be down.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised. I can't spell Genesis.
No, you did. You spelled it right.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, so I got in at 0.22. So I'm like pretty much like flat on these, but like my thought process here was like, okay, like they've been unrevealed since June.
What's up with that?
I don't know, but I was hoping that they'd probably like reveal sometime in the next couple of weeks. And I'm looking kind of like for plays like this where there's like no volume, but like the floor is like the price action is finding a floor, right? Because then all it takes is some sort of news event then for us to get a price catalyst. So like if we're sitting in this 0.2 range and you accumulate a little bit, and then like September 1st they announce like, oh, Genesis boxes are going to reveal in 2 weeks, right? Then maybe they pump up to 0.3, 0.4 like into that news event. That's the same reason why I bought into 8 Aliens, because it seems like it's finding a floor on low volume, and you just got to hope like the founders or like some sort of narrative will form.
No, I appreciate.
If not, you're just going to chop away.
Yeah, I mean, your perspective is always great. I mean, look, it should be said, it's been such a brutal market. It's been so hard to find, to find wins. One thing I'd like to add on the thing that you talked about, the free mints. So can we go to Goblintown real quick?
Yeah.
Goblintown is what really re-energized. Sorry?
I was just looking at Goblintown.
You got Goblin Girls right here, but let's look at, here we go. So check it out. So, 1.45 ETH floor on this. This was the original free mint that ran, and it ran from literally free, so 0 Ethereum, just pay gas, up to, I believe it was 9 Ethereum was the top. Am I correct about that? 9 Ethereum. With Ethereum, it pumped as Ethereum was crashing, if I recall. And so I think Ethereum might have still been at least $2,000, if not $3,000 at the time that these hit 9 ETH. Like someone can fact check me on that. But the point is, it went from 0 to tens of thousands of dollars any way that you spin it. Any way that you spin it.
At $10,098, and I sold for $9,257.
Pretty typical NFT trade right there. Lose $900.
Well, I just got out of it as quickly as possible.
And look at the numbers. It was good.
24 days ago, it sold for 2.2 ETH.
So it's
the
just been
same
going
one,
down. Yeah.
which was $3,700. So yeah, I mean,
Some of them.
what I'm saying is I'm a genius. That was the whole synopsis of that whole storyline there, so people could just recognize that.
Well, there you go. So, we had seen free mint stuff before. Loot, for example, if anybody remembers, Loot was a free mint that also ran up to 8 or 9 ETH, maybe even more, with airdrops. When ETH was literally like $3,500, maybe even $4,000.
Worth 0.9.
The floor is 0.9 on Loot, so it's actually held, which is crazy. So the Goblintown, being the original free mint, launched, or not the original, but like the next generation of free mint, launched a lot of other free mints like Rare A Pepe Yacht Club, like 8 Lands, there's more examples, right? Undead, Genuine Undead is also a free mint. People then, when they get in on those early, they really want it to be the next Goblintown. They want that 9 ETH. But what you have to understand is it doesn't work that way. You're not going to get it up that high again. So I was really surprised when, for example, Rare A Pepe Yacht Club, which for all intents and purposes was a massive, colossal win for everybody that participated early enough. And the only thing to do was to sell, at 1 ETH, right? That was the top. You can't get greedy with this stuff, and you can't expect it to keep running past 1. So as you see more free mints come out, you should expect us to continue to point this out and say, I don't think that that's going to go up. Maybe we'll be wrong like one time, but largely the odds are in our favor that we're going to be right and that it is going to go down. So the moral of the story is, if you get into one of these bangers that goes up where you got the free mint, if you really want to do it, you got to get like 6, 7, 8 of the free mint. And then you sell into the pump, man. It's not going to go to 9 ETH. It's just not going to be Goblintown. Goblintown's at 1.2.
You need to know what sport you're playing. Are you playing PvP? Are you playing we all going to make it, right? Mm-hmm. And most projects are playing PvP. And that means it's every man for themselves. Yep. Get in, get out, be nimble, right? Very few projects in a bear market are going to get that wag me, kind of hold the line, link our arms together kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm completely with you on that.
It's just how it works. And like for Goblintown, the one that ran up to 9 ETH, the one that broke the mold, it's at 1.2 ETH now. So it's not even a high floor. I know that there were airdrops. Were there 2 airdrops? You got the Goblin Burger stuff, and you got the little thing that's farting. Am I right about that?
Yeah. And
what's the deal? What are those things called?
The little thing that's farting. I don't remember.
Okay.
Well, and I think they actually made $6 million, so they got some money in the treasury.
The treasury.
Bank account.
What are you eating over there? You just having a little
chew? Snack.
No, I just have like a jaw issue right now.
Yeah, it's a jaw issues. You got food in that jaw.
I got a little bubble gum, baby. I feel fired up. All right, let's buy something right now with whose wallet's got ETH in it. I used all mine.
I can buy some more
playing right now. Hey, you go buy a random NFT right now.
Let's see what's cooking right now.
Mr. Simpson said, "Do I still believe in Goblintown and truth?" I don't know if I would buy it here.
Guys, I just want to acknowledge the fact that we did the worst job of convincing people that this market is dead, because instead what we just did was go through a bunch of projects that are pumping at this moment. Remember, capitulation is just around the corner.
This is Izu, which is the companion drop from Psychedelics Anonymous that's on, by Voltura Labs, I guess you would say, that's on Solana.
Yeah, so it's in at 0.2. How many have minted?
2,900, it looks like.
Good, unique owners.
People want us to buy my final form.
What is this shit? Oh, this is part of Psychedelics Anonymous.
This is the thing that got controversy for 2 reasons, because Voltura had a bunch of influencers all tweet about it at the same time, and they said that they weren't paid, but one of them did say that he was paid. And then secondly, because people were saying that they were basically looking at Solana as additional liquidity for another raise. I believe the raise on that, it's like an expensive mint, basically. Izu's like an expensive mint. and it's on, I think, Magic Eden Launchpad. And so it was just a high profile thing in general. He actually, Volturo went on Easy's show the other day, and it was, I think, one of Easy's biggest shows ever. He was talking all about it. There it is, Izu.
Yeah, so Mint's at 0.2 ETH.
0.2 ETH with how many?
Yeah.
15,000. So
Wow, so it's not minted out.
yeah, but it's not minted out, but that, like, if that hit, right, 15,000 times 0.2, Nick, you just took out a long on ETH. How much is ETH right now? 1,700?
1683.
1,683.
So far, I've lost $20.
So 15,000 times 0.2 times 1,683 would be a $5 million primary sale in the bottom of the bear market. $5 million.
Well, they need it.
Vapor.
Do they?
Yeah, well, they're creating vapor.
Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely makes a lot of sense.
So you're just buying the helmets? Because they're wearables?
I don't know,
Is this
but
an Earth helmet?
it is. Yes, it is something that has to do with wearables of some sort.
This looks like a guy you see like on a big DMT trip. And he's
Yeah.
like the elf welcoming you into the 14th dimension. What's up?
I mean, $5 million is a big raise, and you can run a business on $5 million. You know, if you're running it pretty lean, you can run a damn business on $5 million for a couple of years.
I'll tell you
Nick,
what,
go
their
ahead.
branding is on point, though. You got to give them that. Like this Izu, this website, this looks good. I mean, they know what they're doing design-wise.
Yeah, they're probably hiring the same agency that we're hiring, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, I mean, so they made $5 million and spent $50,000 on a website.
Not they haven't made $5 million yet.
Okay, they haven't made it yet, but they've already made $1 million and they spent 50 grand on a website. That's pretty good return. I'd say
I mean,
it's
look at
pretty
these
good.
AR goggles. You got to imagine this guy's bleeding out of his nose. So that's
I can't see the site anymore, but yeah.
Anthony's trying to get us to buy Izu. I know what you're doing, Anthony. I know your game. You want to have us buy something and then laugh at us later. And
one of
say,
their problems
"You guys are dumbasses."
is they need more money. Like that's one of the fundamental issues. It's really challenging operating a business with like $10 million. Like it's a difficult thing. You know, you need more money in order to operate. People just don't understand the expenses that go into running a business of 5 people.
Hey,
You know, like it's quite expensive. So,
Warmouse just said he bought 25 My Final Form and they're dumping.
Well, I mean, I didn't tell you to buy right then and there, dude. I mean, it just minted out, dude. Come on.
you bought 25. Literally, the pump was Warmouse.
So that cost you like $10?
He said just kidding, but it is pretty funny.
Down to 0.04 from 0.06. Who could have seen that coming? I thought this was the future Bored Ape.
This is a temporary
Polish
dip.
pullback.
Oh,
Bullet.
watch, this thing's gonna cook, man. Watch.
Pullback is super bullish.
Hey,
Super bullish.
Kicks, if you could put a sandwich in front of your mouth, that would help as well, just for the audio.
There's only 700 for sale, Nick. Do you understand how little that is? It's like $10,000 for sale. Just one sweep.
700 out of 900.
Keezy said that he's like, Nick, you opened up an Ethereum long, bro. You should have waited till this weekend for a little pump.
It's a short term bet. Right in at the 1726, maybe a little bit underneath that. I'm just going for this short term pump. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to experience some juice in my bones. Is that even a saying?
Are we doing some TA?
Well, he hasn't joined clearly. Still, let me. I can share if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it looks like he figured it out. But
the Kickster, look at that. Oh, we got some. We're drawing some lines, people. Yo, Crypto Kaleo, eat your heart out because Kicks is coming through with some MACD energy.
Yeah, so I actually came up with a new type of charting right here. Right, so you take for the like major top, and you draw this line. Look, just happens to line up with this interesting candle.
That's not a new type of charting. That's a good chart.
Okay, and then you do this right here, and you say, okay, what happens if I exit through this line? It's called the X marks the spot trade. right
Okay,
here.
I don't love that.
And so you're looking to buy right here at 1366.
Yo, I
So
just
best
found
case,
out
you're
I
going to
have a
see a
hard
pump
stop
up
at
to
5.
1800 and then down to 1370. You know, this is what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
Yo, I have a hard stop at 5.
How hard of a stop is it?
I got to take it. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the show.
That was an abrupt ending.
I know it's a